Welcome to my reroll Yasuo guide. This build is very powerful and also very easy to play, so it's a great one to learn if you are a newer player. It is also a slow roll comp that goes for 3 stars at level 7. In this video, I will go over the build, what items you make, how to play before, during, and after level 7, then I will go over some in-depth positioning. The build is extremely linear, as your level 7 is not flexible at all. In every single game, you want to slow roll at level 7 for 3 stars with this board. The most important synergy is for Dragonslayers. This is because Yasuo scales incredibly well with AP, and this also lets us have multiple secondary carries with Mordekaiser, Trundle, and Pantheon. Morgana and Lee Sin are also in there to give us 4 Nightbringers, which gives Yasuo a bigger defensive shield and also gives him more damage. The other variations of this comp are weaker, but if you are struggling to find either Mordekaiser or Diana, you can run 6 Nightbringers until you find them, or you can run 4 Legionnaires until you find them. This is a slow roll comp, meaning we want to 3-star multiple units. Your 3-star priority is Yasuo, Lee Sin, Pantheon, Trundle, then Morgana. But the only 3-star that matters is Yasuo. Once you hit 3-star Yasuo, you push to level 8 or 9. At level 8, you add in either Viego for 2 assassins and more backline access, or you add in a Mystic unit which wants to be Kindred, Ryze, or Lulu. At level 9, you will add in another Mystic or Viego, or you can go for 6 Nightbringers. Yasuo is the primary carry for this comp, so we prioritize making items for him first. He has one core item, and that is Regular Hurricane. This is because he deals true damage with his auto attacks after casting a spell. And with Regular Hurricane, we are dealing true damage to multiple people. Therefore, Shadow Hurricane is not a replacement at all since we are not applying on-hit effects with that item. So know that this comp is significantly worse without Regular Hurricane. The second item for Yasuo wants to be a defensive item. The best one by far is RFC. Shadow RFC can also work, but you prefer the regular one as you get 20% extra attack speed with that one. This is to make sure Yasuo stays safe behind the front line, and it also increases his DPS as he doesn't have to walk around units. If you can't make RFC, another option is either of the GAs. Since we have so much attack speed from Legionnaires, the attack speed slow from Shadow GA doesn't affect us that hard. Or you can build regular QSS. Shadow QSS makes us too squishy and also gives us less value from the Nightbringer shield, so avoid that one. The third item wants to be a damage item. This wants to be either Jewel Gauntlet, Deathcap, any Hosh, ID, or any Giant Slayer. After we have itemized Yasuo, we want to itemize the other units. And some great items for this comp are any tank or AP items on Mordekaiser, Frozen Heart on Diana, any Morello on Morgana, or any Locket. You want to itemize the other 3-star unit you got, and if you didn't hit any of them, you itemize Mordekaiser as a secondary carry. The carousel priority for this comp is Bow, Glove, Rod, then Chain. Since we're rolling for this comp at level 7, we can play almost any opener we want to, but the strongest opener for this comp that we can consistently hit is 3 Skirmishers with Udyr as the item carrier, and some other great ones are Callista with either A-Bomb or Redeemed frontline, Varus with Rangers and Redeemed, or Vayne with Forgotten and Rangers. Once we have our opener, we need to make items, and as a general rule, we want to make an item if we have 4 or more components. Some items that are strong early and that transition well into Yasuo late game are any Bramble, Frozen Heart, any GA, any Hosh, any Locket, any Morello, Hurricane, and Thieves' Gloves. Since we're not slow rolling until level 7 with this comp, the goal is to get there at stage 4-1 with 50 gold or more. We pretty much play the early game and mid game like any other comp, but we generally want to play a bit more aggressive than usual. This is because we want to avoid rolling at level 6. Therefore, I always pre-level to 4 on 1-4, mostly to get the chance of hitting 3 cost units as early as possible, but also to play aggressive and save HP. If you want to learn more about how to play the early game, check out my guide where I go in-depth on the subject. At the Krugs round, you should have more direction towards a comp, and the general requirements to play reroll Yasuo is to have at least 1 bow for Hurricane and at least 1 component for another Yasuo item. The units we have here matter a little, as the more we have before we start slow rolling, the faster we will hit our 3-stars. In the mid game, we want to be level 6 on 3-2 to keep the aggression up and to also get better shops. We definitely prefer to not roll here, but if we did take a lot of damage in the early game, we will have to roll here some of the time. When rolling here, you pick up units for the level 7 comp, and also hopefully find Yasuo and use him as a carry. If not, then you can use Riven, Nocturne, Nidalee, or Ashe can also be used until you find the Yasuo. Once you reach 50 gold on 4-1, we start slow rolling at level 7, meaning we roll down to 50 gold every single turn. This is to maximize our odds for hitting 3-star units. Our 3-star priority is Yasuo, Lee Sin, Pantheon, Trundle, then Morgana, meaning that if you need to sell a unit for bench space, you sell Morgana first, then Trundles, then Pantheons. But in some cases, if you are really close to Trundle but far off of Pantheon, you can sell off Pantheon as you're just not going to 3-star him that game. I also want to preface here that the only 3-star you really need is Yasuo, because Lee Sin, Pantheon, Trundle, and Morgana are just icing on the cake. Getting them 3-star is going to be nowhere near as close of a power spike as 3-starring Yasuo. If you are low on HP once you get to 4-1, you might have to roll down a little bit to stabilize. This is not preferred, but you cannot tank stage 4 as you take a lot of damage here. By stage 5-1, you will generally need everything 2-starred in order to be stabled. And if you're far off Yasuo 3-star here, you might have to just push level 8 and 9 instead and try to just get a top 4. My biggest pet peeve about this comp is that if you hit Yasuo 3-star, it is almost always a guaranteed top 2, but if you don't hit Yasuo 3-star, it is often a bot 4. So if you are far off of him, going level 8 to put in another unit might give you enough of a boost to save enough HP to hopefully get a 4th or better. But if you chase the 3-star, you generally will need to hit it by stage 6-1, so roll to 0 gold there. Once you hit Yasuo 3-star, you stop slow rolling and look to go level 8 or 9 depending on how much HP and gold you have. And like I mentioned in the build part of the video, you look to add in either Viego or a Mystic unit, or look to go for 6 Nightbringers if you make it to level 9. Getting contested on this comp is terrible. Not only is it close to impossible to hit Yasuo 3-star if you're both going for it, but it is also harder to just hit the other 2-star units for this comp. It's no surprise that playing contested is significantly worse, but it's not impossible to top 4. If you get contested, you have 3 different options. Option 1 is to play this comp and not go for 3-stars. The game plan is very similar. At 4-1, you roll down for the same comp, and here you're looking to 2-star almost all of your non-4 cost units. Hitting Yasuo 2-star is crucial, and you probably can't stop until you hit it. From there, you look to push level 8 and use Mordekaiser as your secondary carry. Option 2 is to pivot. The best pivots with this comp is Skirmisher Jax or a Draven Mordekaiser carry comp. The earlier you decide to pivot, the better, and both of these comps use very similar units and also very similar items. I have made guides on both of these comps that you can pivot to, so they will be linked down in the description if you want to learn more about them. Option 3 is to contest and still go for 3-stars. This is definitely the riskiest option, and I would only do this if you meet these 2 requirements. The first one is to have perfect Yasuo items and also have great items for Mordekaiser. The second requirement is to have more HP and be farther ahead in tempo than your contester. It is crucial to keep scouting him towards the mid game and late game to see how close they are to hitting their 3-stars. The general goal here is to roll for 2-star Yasuo on 4-1, then hold your goal from there and wait for the contester to die. Once they die, you roll down to hit 3-stars as the units go back into the pool. But know that this option is risky, as you might bleed out too much if it takes the contester a long time before they die. General positioning looks like this. Here we have Pantheon on the outskirt to tank most of the damage. Trundle is next to Yasuo to eat the target he is shredding. Morgana is next to Yasuo to stun targets that would be attacking him. Mordekaiser is next to Morgana, and Lee Sin is on the outskirt to get more value from his ultimate when people wrap around him. Diana wants to be on the same side as big clumps of enemies, and if you have RFC on Yasuo, the positioning is almost the same, but just make sure to have Yasuo on the second row to keep him more safe. Against the first guy, the big threat is Ziggs and Kennen. Morgana is far right side as she won't reach Hellions with her spell, and also to bait out the Kennen ultimate. Pantheon is tanking Ziggs, Lee Sin is close to the Hellions so that he slows their attack speed once Kennen is out of the way. Yasuo is behind in the left corner to hopefully dodge the Kennen ultimate. Against the second guy, the big threat is Victor and Hecarim. Yasuo is on the same side as Brand and Victor to reach them sooner. Morgana is far right to stun the Cavaliers. Trundle is on the right side to eat the Cavaliers' resistances. Pantheon is close to Brand and Victor to tank their spells. Against the third guy, the big threat is Aphelios. Pantheon is tanking Aphelios' damage. Morgana is stunning the frontline to hopefully not make the Taric heal go off. Trundle and Mordekaiser are close to Taric to burst him down. Yasuo is far left to dodge the Diana ultimate. Against the fourth guy, the big threat is Nunu and Ryze. Yasuo is far right side to stay away from the monstrosity. Trundle is dealing resistances so that Yasuo shreds through the brawlers quicker. Morgana is in the middle to stun all the brawlers. Lee Sin is slowing the attack speed of the brawlers and is also close to where the abomination will land to slow its attack speed as well. Mordekaiser is right side to deal with the monstrosity once it comes out. So in general, the positioning with this comp is all about utilizing Trundle ultimate to deal with big tanks, and utilize the burst damage from Mordekaiser and the consistent DPS from Yasuo. Diana is all the backline axis you have with this comp, so having her jump the enemy carry is extremely valuable. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what video you want me to make next, and if you want to get better at TFT, join the Discord. We got over 3,000 other players there who are hungry to climb. And if you want to get coached by me, the information is over on the Discord server as well. So take care and see you in the next video.